Alright, I got a clunking noise coming from my Tundra. The 2007 four-wheel drive. And it'll clunk every time I'll stop. Not all the time, but after I stop for a few seconds, sometimes it clunks. It almost feels like I'm getting rear-ended or something. So I've read on that you can grease the spline on the slip joint. I've already taken it off, so I have to do some videos later, some editing to show you. But this end here attaches to your rear differential. And then this ties into the next bit. And what I did is I just took off the first metal band here. This metal band, I made all the markings so that way when I put it back together, that it should stay the same the way that it was before I took it off. What I want to do now is I'm going to clean the inside. It's really dirty, pretty dry, not a whole lot of grease in here since this is yesterday, the new grease here. I just took the band off without taking off this whole thing and try to just stick some grease in, but I could, as you can tell, I never made it into the spline. So that's what I'm decided to go ahead and take it off today. But this is what it looks like inside that, and then what's left on the truck is the male spline where it goes into this. So I'm gonna clean both of it up, put some new grease on, slap it on, and then I'm just gonna use a O clamp because I don't have one of those pinch clamps like the OEMs. It uses the regular O-ring clamps, and then hopefully that solves my clunking. Alright, I don't know if you can tell, but I wiped all the O-grease off here so it looks a lot cleaner. And then, so now I'm going to apply some new grease. I don't have any like Molly grease or whatever, but I do have some Timken bearing grease here. So this is what I have, so I'm going to use this. Put a bunch of it in here, put a bunch of it on the spline, and put it back together. As you can tell, I got all of it greased up, and if you look way in the back, there's like some really that's the old grease that's way in like the last inch of the spline. Come on, focus. But anyway, this is done. I gotta do the other spline and then put it back together. Alright, so this is the other half I was talking about, the male spline. You look down there, that's the rear differential. It goes up, and then this is where the boot is. There's not a Zerk fitting like that would have been really easy if there was a Zerk fitting. You can just grease this without taking the boot off. But this is the O-ring, the clamp I'm going to use because I don't have a pinch clamp. But I'm going to clean all this up and re-grease it and then put it back together. While I'm down here, they did mention that if you have some clunking too, there could be issues with your U-joints, which all the U-joints on here have Zerk fittings, and you can grease those. There's some on the back, and then there's some up there toward the transmission, and then the other thing you can check up there. Where's my finger? Like up there in that area, there's Zerk fittings you can grease. And also something to look for is this cross member that supports the transmission. That can get loose. Like there's bolts are there. There's two here. There's two on the other side. Sorry, napkin. There's two here, and then there's two on the other side. But that may get loose, so that's something to check if you have some clunking when you're stopping or taking off. But for me, the U joints were fine. I greased it up. Didn't fix my problem. I checked the cross member underneath supporting the transmission. That didn't do anything. That was tight. So the last thing here is this, and as you can tell, it's super dry. So I think it gets hung up sometime, and then it kind of like pushes forward or backwards, depending on like the inertia of the truck moving or whatever. So I'm gonna clean this up, and hopefully that's it. All right, it's cleaned off. That's good. I took a little brush to get into the spline to get some of the old gunk off. So now it's gotta apply some new grease, and then we're back together. Took a wire brush and just kind of clean this up a little bit, so that way when we install it, the mating surface is a little cleaner. I didn't clean the whole thing because it's shaped, so I just cleaned where all the metal's gonna touch. All right, I got everything back on. Put ahead and push the boot back up. You can tell there it's slid off right there. Push back up. It's matching my. Here's number two line that matches up. That's why I'm gonna put two lines just to make sure that nothing was wonky. And I used the the ridge of this boot as my line, so that way I know it's going straight across. So one all the way up, there's one. So everything matches now. So now I can put this guy here, and then down there I just got the studs in just to hold it in place, and I use the jack to kind of hold it while I position everything. Oops, sorry. But yeah, now I just got to button it up and put some Loctite on the nut and tighten it, and then tighten this clamp, and we're done. And just to make sure I get everything matched up the way it was on the back side near the river differential, I went ahead and put a mark here, so that way I know that everything's going back to its original spot. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm almost done tightening these bolts, and then I just gotta tighten the O-ring clamp, and then that's it, and then I'll let you know if this fixed my problem.